So you're trying to convert this V6 to V8. As you can see, them V6 motor mounts ain't gonna work. There was one there, I got it out. A 15 millimeter with a 15 millimeter socket, and then, or 15 millimeter wrench. Then we got the part number 2292 for the V8 mount. I'm gonna have to do some double checking because I was thinking they were saying there's a top and a bottom or some crap like that, but the fun part of getting these things lined, getting the bolts in them, man. Where we at here? So that one, see that hole don't match up, but if I flip it around, both of the holes match. So that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this bolt in, that bolt in. I dropped the bottom bolt. We'll fish it in there, fish it out with a magnet maybe, or just put a new one in it, either or. But I'm at least gonna try to get that bolt in. See what we can do. All right, that's the difference there. We got the two top bolts in, then we got a hole right there for the bottom bolt. That's the only one that's gonna match. Right there, it's the only one that's gonna match. Then we got the same process over here. The issue that I have is, you see the fuel line in there? I can't get a wrench in there to get the fuel line out. So I might have to go up through the bottom with a socket and a swivel and all that to hold it in there. So let's see if I can break them loose with the impact and then go from there. All right. Look at that. Okay, like I said, we got that one in. And that wasn't too bad. I could do everything for this one right there in that hole right there. But if you can see on this one, we got the gas line coming out. And I guess we could did away with the gas line, but we don't want to do that because we're going to use that gas line. At least one of them for what we're putting in this automobile. So, but you see, I got that one off. I had to do it all from underneath, inside where the lower A-arm is. Wrenches didn't work. So I ended up having a ratchet with a flexible head. And I was able to get in there and get all of them out. So fun part's going to be, I feel like I can get that one in, which that one I probably didn't even have to take out, to be honest. This one right here, I probably didn't have to take it now because I'm gonna need that one. So I could have left that one in, got a nut on it. But the problem I have is I dropped one, two, three. So there's 3 bolts that stick up through the frame. I've dropped inside the frame. So I might get a magnet and fish them out. And then we're gonna, like I said, gonna go ahead and get this next motor mount in, get it lined up. Cause we're going V8, baby. We're going V8, baby. Y'all stay tuned. What kind of V8 what we doing? Y'all know what we do over here. We know what we do over here. Gotta get the pressure washer out. Paint all this nastiness, man. Get it all cleaned up. We cut back the wires we don't need. Okay. See, that's how she's gonna set up. And again, the holes only line up a certain way. You have to rotate up or down on the motor mounts, because they only go a certain way. If you look at them, there's a wide set of holes, and then there's a narrow set of holes. And then you're only gonna make one hole work on the bottom. Let me get my magnet and fish the bolts out so we can go ahead and, you know what I mean, get that jumping. Man, sorry y'all for the horrible lighting, but that's what's happening while we out here in the elements getting down. But we do got both bolts in there, that bolt in there, the other bolt in there, both of the bolts in there. Fished them out with the magnet, and then I also put them back in with a magnet. That's the first time I've ever put motor mount bolts, at least got them started that easy with the magnet. Now, getting in there with a wrench and holding it to get them tight is a whole different ball game. But we run out of daylight, so my whole shebang here is to go ahead, get these tight, and then I'm gonna spray this whole engine bay down with some kind of degreaser and get this thing cleaned up, hit it with some paint, and then we're gonna slide this motor and trans in, and then we can start, you know, doing what we do. We've got, let's see, I gotta find a spot, put me a hole for the ECM. We're gonna run the ECM inside the cab this time. We're not gonna run it in the engine bay. So that's gonna, you know, try to make it look decent. Yes, sir. All right, sprayed him off. Now it's time to get some of that paint in there. Use some of that. Yeah, that crap ain't worth, the real deal oven cleaner is where it's at, but it definitely looks better than what it was, and I know that it'll hold some paint. So we're gonna go with some paint, rattle can, something. Paint it all up, make it look like something. Drop an engine in. All right, y'all. You see, we flipped upside down because why? Well, new oil pan, new oil pump, and cam is in. Let me grab his oil pump. Got that Melling M295 going in the 5.3. The 5.3. They simple. This is the easiest way to put a pump on. Let me tell you, the easiest. Hey, and I just went to go buy an oil pump, you know, cause and of course it didn't have all the parts in it. So I said, hey, I'll take it. It didn't have the O-ring. I'll take it. Just got to knock some money off. Didn't want to do that. So, but we'll order you one. But you got to pay for it in full. So you're gonna order me one. Got to pay for it in full, but you got one. And no, you can't buy that one. So you have to pay for the one in full. How does the oil pump go on? It's simple, man. It is simple. You know, line these grooves up with these grooves and bolt it on. Let's see. I don't have my tripod, man, and I'm trying to do this one-handed, but it worked. She's on there like so. This is your oil valley port. This port right here is how you prime your oil system. You pull this out, which is 8mm. You pump it full of oil, and you make sure you got oil going to your lifters, and then your system is primed. So, like I said, we got a new oil pan going on, and we done hit this with the scraper. We done hit this with the other stuff. I don't know if I need to cut this pan off. Sometimes you gotta cut the valley tray. Not the valley tray, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. But sometimes you have to cut this to fit for certain pans. And then certain O-rings fit certain pickup tubes. So that's another thing that you gotta look out for. But you know, anytime you're pulling a motor apart, and these motors are notorious for having oil pressure issues at times, why not go ahead and put a new pump in it, new O-ring in it, new dog pin in it. And all the dog pin is it goes in through the back right here, and it's just a block off port. That's all it is. That's all it does. Let's see what this oil pan fits like. That low profile oil freaking pan. She gonna look good on here. Gotta go with the black paint on the engine, of course. Break everything up. That's what I'm gonna do anyway. That pan looks good. That pan looks good. I sure hope they gave me a dang drain tube. I sure hope they did. Yeah, man. So Plain and simple. You can shim it if you want. You can shim the oil pump if you want. You can also pull this out. There's a spring inside there, and add a stiffer spring, and that'll change your oil pressure or your volume, I think. I do know it'll change something. So we're gonna finish this dude up in this series, have it looking like a engine ready to go in. You see it not fitting all the way down right here? See it? It's not fitting all the way down at all. So that's telling me that my tray, see inside here, this tray is hitting. So I'm gonna have to do something different there. I'm gonna have to cut it. Sometimes you have to cut them from the front forward due to how that looks and that looks right there. I think I'm gonna have to cut. Keep using this hand. I think I'm gonna have to cut it right here or back here. I'm definitely gonna have to cut it. There's no ifs and buts about it. It's got to be cut for it to sit down 100%. Because this is hitting, or is it the front? Where's it hitting at, y'all? Where's it hitting at? Let's see. It's hitting the bolt in the front. It's hitting that nut right there in the front. I might not have to cut it. We're gonna find out though. Because I feel like the pickup tube is gonna, yeah, we might have to cut it, y'all. We'll get to it. All right, you see we cut the windage tray, cut it back. Let's see what kind of clearance we got now. Because remember, it would not go down all the way before. It's down all the way now. So yeah, we have to cut that windage tray. Came with some bolts. Now we're gonna go ahead and bolt this windage tray back on. This daggone engine itself has had a little bit of, we'll spray it off, a little bit of more Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Parts cleaner, all purpose. Gets the job done. Gets the job done. Gets the job done. Got all that crud and crap off from it. As you can see, the motor itself has got a little bit of crud and crap, but guess what? We have no bent rods. Everything looks good as it's going to look, as we shall say. Go ahead and put our 13mm bolts back on as they shall go. With one and this one we leave off because that's where the windage tray goes. All right, we got the pickup tube that came with the pan, and it's got a, you see the design of this, that tells what type of O-ring that you're supposed to use. This style right here shows what O-ring. If it flares out, if it's got a step, this one's straight, so it tells. I want to say it's gonna be a black one, but the main thing is that it fits. Like so. We don't have to put, that bolt is missing, so we don't need it. Okay, so we're gonna have to put it in. This bolt in, bolt our oil pump up. Yeah. Came with some hardware as well. We're gonna use that. We might use some of the old one, I don't know. came with an O-ring. It came with an O-ring, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use the O-ring that came with the oil pump. So first things first is, let's go ahead and bolt this oil pump on. $13. So now it's O-ring time. The paperwork describes a flare, a step, and a straight. The straight, the flare, so the straight has to use the black one. We got a black and a green. So we're gonna use the black one. We'll see how it fits, man. If it don't fit just right, we'll use the green. But we definitely gotta have the right style that goes on here. I don't like it. I don't like it. It don't look, wow. I don't like it. What? I don't like it. What it looks like is, to be honest, for it to sit down in there like it's supposed to, I gotta cut this windage tray again. All right, 5/16 dowel rods, they go in here. You put them dudes in there. You know why? So your lifters don't fall. The lifters ain't supposed to fall. All right, that's when you're doing a cam swap. Then you take your water pump bolts, you stick them in here. I just use 2 of them. And you rotate, you know, we know that, all right, we know that that's back there, rotate, and then you hear that dreaded noise you don't want to hear. of the cam smacking the other. Oh man, it sucks. So you get it lined up so you can get this cam out, right? As long as you don't have lifters that drop, and it feels like I just did. We're gonna take a look-see inside there, see what them bearings look like, and woo-wee, they look good. Then we're gonna take us some tacky grease, spray all in there. Gonna install this BTR Stage 2 truck cam. It has to have the springs. This is a spring cam. It's a BTR 312-18110. Put that dude in there. Listen to it. Chop it, chop, chop. Listen to it, chop, chop. We ain't doing that. We're gonna take this little car parts cleaner. We're gonna spray his cam off. Get all that crud off that cam. Then we're gonna take this rag, we're gonna wipe it off. They'll get it off there, man. They put some kind of stuff on it. Then we're gonna take this Easy Grip grease. Red tacky grease. I don't know how y'all feel about it, because I used it on my truck and it worked. Spray a little bit more on it. Y'all might not get that part. I try to keep it positive, y'all. BTR Stage 2 truck cam going in a 5.3. Going in a 5.3. Like I said, this motor ran good. Ran very strong. Good oil pressure. So, you know, if all that is taking place, if you know that you got a good running engine, and look at that rotation. Look at that. Spins freely. Spins freely. We gotta get it at 3 o'clock though, right? 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, top dead center. Three o'clock, top dead center. Some of y'all might reuse that cam retainer plate. This one here's got a little bit of a ridge on it. You can feel it, but I don't do it. See, I pulled out the bolts. Put in the new male, the Molly or male cam cover plate. Give me just a minute, I'll give y'all a part number. All right, y'all, here's those cam specs. 262, 268, 212, 218 on a 111 LSA. This thing should chop like crazy. All right, you see the cam cover plate. Cam is in. What is the part number? The part number for the cam cover plate is, it says a Molly B31822. Brand new. You always want to change that, man. The reason I say change it is for the simple fact that you may run into issues that you don't want to run into, which would be a oil pressure issue. And then we also have the cam gear that we're going to install. We're going to put the back in. And the easy way to know that you're at top dead center on the cam gear itself, you have a dot, but you want to know that you're at top dead center on the cam alone, is that the little peg. Put it at 3 o'clock. We cleaned this up. Got it cleaned up, both sides, and then put it at 3 o'clock. Try your best to get it all lined back up, cam back in it, chain back on it. Oh, okay, see? And try your best to get it. As you can see right now, I'm not at 3 o'clock. So drop the chain, try your best to get 3 o'clock, and I'm still not at 3 o'clock. There, I'm dead right there, 3 o'clock. So the cam is timed. We're at top dead center. Now we just need to put our bolts back in, torque them to spec, whatever that spec is. Y'all go read the paperwork. It'll tell you what the spec is. And we'll put this cover back on. And that part of the portion of Shorty Doo-Wop's 5.3 that's going to make 5,000 horsepower is done. All right, y'all. We got him back together, I think. Somewhat. I mean, it's just laying here. This stuff is just laying here. We've got it back together. We've got intake sitting on it. Sheet metal, of course, you know, everybody, they talk bad about the sheet metal. We do have, I think, a 98 millimeter throttle body here. And then we've got, I gotta clean this crap. I done cleaned everything, and I done did everything under the sun to try to get this. I was like, they put glue on there, man. I got brand new ones, and they were these paper ones. I'm not a big fan of. But anyway, all right, y'all, man. We got that intake on. We got that cam in. I still need to change these springs, man. We gotta go do because of the cam we're running. We have to change the springs. If you go back and if you watch the OBS build of mine, oh man, everything's falling. If you go back and watch the OBS build, you will see that we had spring failure, broken springs. Reason being is I put a high lift cam and left stock springs in it. I knew it was going to happen, but at the time I was trying to get to LS Fest and I didn't really have the time. I had the time, but to change the springs. So instead of changing the springs, all we did was just swap the heads that already had springs in it. What we got here, we got to change the springs. We got the cam in. We got to clean this nastiness up right here. Everything else is clean. I mean, we done sprayed this motor. We done oven coated. We done, what do you call it? Pressure washed. We done did everything. And just some stuff don't come off. And this is one of it. But we run in the sheet metal intake. Shorty Doo-Wop great get it, man. She great get it. Sheet metal intake. And I know, don't run the sheet metal intake. It don't have this. It looks good. I like it. And it works. So that's what we're going to run, y'all. That's what we're going to run. 102 millimeter throttle body or 98 millimeter, I think. Let me see. 92 millimeter throttle body. So that's a plus. We're going to go ahead and go with the stock injectors, because those injectors are 28 pound. I want to say 28 pound injectors. Plenty for what we trying to do here. Ain't nobody trying to make no 700-800 horsepower. So you know, it's gonna work. We got headers. We got them. Look, man. For you guys that wanna put that motor in and use that same drive shaft, look at the distance. Look at the distance of. You can move that engine forward or backward. That's how you get away with using that stock drive shaft without not having to mess around with another drive shaft. That's how. But you still may have to move the cross member now. That's not saying you ain't gonna have to move the cross member. We got the low profile oil pan. Should clear everything we needed to clear. Definitely doesn't stick as low down as low as a truck pan. I'm a little worried on the pickup tube. And then of course we've got, where are we at? It's right here. That is our how we prime the engine. We're gonna go ahead and try to prime it. I want to make sure that we got sufficient oil through the engine before we turn it over. And that's it, man. I mean, other than bolting the transmission in, we got a 3200 stall converter. And 3200 stall converter, I feel like it's going to be enough. 32, 34. It's going to be plenty. Then we've got what else was it? Oh, another radiator, electric fans. And then